Hey guys! Today's video is a little Q&A that I wanted to film while I am still in town with my little baby boy Picasso. So he's going to be joining me for this. So I need to find this. Where's the old stories? Oh my goodness. On this day 2 years ago, I just found a picture of myself in Japan. Filming Q&A with Burb Ask Away. Very excited about this. You guys have some really creative questions. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's just my name, Jessica Clements, and I'll leave the links below for you guys. Along with my shirt and my lipstick, I'm trying to kind of like keep those things linked. Where do we want to start, Picasso? Should we go at the bottom? Let's start at the bottom. I really want bangs like yours, but are they high maintenance? They are hard, I have to say, and there's some days, especially things that I've like filmed, I look back at my bangs and I'm just like, ooh, I don't know how to use bangs yet. But I think once I get the hang of them, they're going to be like really nice. Who is your favorite musical artist at the moment? I feel like this is like kind of obvious, but Billie Eilish. Like, I think her voice is just so good, and I've seen her twice. Like, I have such a girl crush. How did you come up with Picasso's name? The fun story about Picasso is we actually didn't name him because we adopted him from another family that didn't want him anymore. And they got him at a Petco that we used to go to and buy birdseed for our other birds, and I had bonded with this Amazon there, and he would always get so excited when I came into the store. When these people gave us Picasso, he acted like he already knew me and loved me, so we're like, I wonder. Turns out that he was the exact same bird from that store that we used to go to. Now, I don't like to condone people buying birds from stores. We have adopted all our birds. Birds are very hard pets, and I don't think that they should be in pet stores. How old is your dragon? That's so cute. I got a lot of Picasso questions, and I got a lot of boyfriend questions, so I'm really excited because these are like going to be so much fun. I think he's about 20, maybe 18, 19. Actually, he might be in his 20s. He might be in his early 20s. I'm not sure. I'm just going to say 20, and we're going to leave it at that. And he is a blue-fronted Amazon. Favorite sports car? I love a vintage Corvette. I don't know, I just think that they're so stinking cool. Did you train Picasso for pooping? This is the amazing thing about Picasso. He will not poop on me, and I think it was his old owners who trained him not to poop on them, but he will just start freaking out and acting super antsy, but doesn't want to come off of me. So if I put him down on his cage or on his little perch setup that he has, he'll step down there, poop, and then right away automatically he like puts his foot up to go back on me. It's very cute. Favorite brands for clothing? So it's very expensive, but right now I am obsessed with the Row. I think it's just so beautiful, and there's a lot of like resale sites and stuff where you can find their sweaters and like pants for a lot cheaper than how you would buy them new. Do you ever get pecked in the face? So he doesn't really peck me in the face. Sometimes he'll chew on my fingers or he'll play fight with me, and it kind of looks like he's biting me. Does Picasso kiss you sometimes? I mean, I think you've kind of seen that. How did you and your boyfriend meet? So it's really funny because we actually met on a trip to Costa Rica a little over a year ago. One of my best girlfriends is from Costa Rica, and we all went down on a trip, and he was one of her boyfriend's friends, and we just became friends, like straight out full friends. I was dating somebody else. We hung out a bit after the trip, and then he actually set me up with somebody, and when I was on the date with that guy, I was like, oh, wait a second, I think that I like him. And I remember texting one of my girlfriends, and she was like, Jess, you need to make your mind up and like change the subject. And I was like, dude. They say pets are like their owners. Does Picasso resemble you in some way? I think that I have a big nose, and we also laugh the same because he picked up his laugh for me, so I think it's really cute. Who's the baby? Who's the baby? Are you the baby? Oh, I know. Tips on self-love after trauma and abuse. A really heavy question, but I kind of wanted to throw this in there because I thought that it would be nice. I think we've all suffered some sort of trauma or abuse from somewhere in our lives, and if you haven't, that's amazing, and I really hope that it stays that way. The healing process is different for everybody, but I think the biggest thing to remember is that it takes time. Just give yourself the time that you need. Like, you kind of have to trick yourself into feeling better sometimes. For me, that's what I've done actually, and you just really have to put the effort in to be like, okay, I'm going to make the choice to be happy. I'm going to make the choice to forgive and forget, even if it's not something that you would ever want to forgive. Are you happier now than you were 2 years ago? Yes, I can definitely say I'm a lot happier. I've learned so much about myself in the past couple of years. Are you planning to visit Japan again? Yeah, I hope to be there sometime in the next year. Like, hopefully sometime in 2020. Fingers crossed. Who's a good boy? Why do you like birds? Okay, I might have answered this in like an old Q&A somewhere. I grew up with birds. My dad got my mom a cockatiel as a graduation present from college. And they just kept adopting birds. And they're so loving. And I mean, how can you not love this? He's so sweet. Would you ever live somewhere other than New York? If so, where? So I'm actually kind of a little sick of New York. The pace is really a lot for me, so I'm thinking of spending some time in some other places. I mean, I really love London, but LA is also a great area, and I have a lot of friends in LA, so I feel like it might end up being LA. I also have a bird-mic question is, why are they just so weird? They are really weird, aren't they? Like, they just have such big personalities. Each one is so individual and so unique. And Picasso is just such a dorky little fluffy boy. I love him so much. He has so many pin feathers right now. It's really funny. I have 2 questions here from 2 different people next to each other, and it says, can you marry my dog? And then the next one is from a dog that says, marry me, Picasso. How do you deal with anxiety and when you're more down? The weirdest thing has been happening to me lately because I feel like pretty secure in most areas of my life. I've just been having these really random just like bouts of anxiety. In those moments, I typically will just slow myself down, like take deep breaths. I've been doing that a lot lately. I did it the other night when I was having like an existential crisis about life. And I just like took deep breaths and I was like, it's gonna be okay. Just the more that you stress, the like more complications there are going to be because you're going to make decisions based on stress. And it's kind of an inner monologue that I have with myself. Best advice I've ever been given. I think I've said this a million times in Q&As, but it literally is, nobody cares about you as much as they care about themselves. And I know that that might sound a little bit sad, but I used to really care about what other people thought of me. So I would get into this really weird headspace about doing things, and I was so shy. And then once I realized that people really just care and worry about themselves more than they worry about something embarrassing or silly or stupid that you did. So I think that that's something that's really great to remember if you're having issues with confidence. What kind of movies do you like? I will watch comedy a lot. I like cartoons, more like TV shows, and okay, I have to say, I love anything that's a period piece. Anything that's like English or French or something like that. The costuming is always so beautiful, and I just love those like romance stories and things like that. Snack for you? These are his favorite treats. They're these like sesame peanut balls that I think are for rodents. Does Picasso smell good? This is actually a funny question because he does actually have this smell that he gives off when he's happy, but it kind of smells like a flower. It's almost like a mixture of jasmine and this one like type of Italian rose. How do you deal with jealousy with your boyfriend? For the first time dating somebody, feel like completely secure, and I've not necessarily felt like that in the past. He was just thirsty. What is your favorite outfit? You know, oh no, we don't want to eat that. I think my favorite thing to wear is like a pair of trousers and either like a t-shirt or a button-up shirt or something like that, or a sweater. What do you love most about your hometown? I would have to say like my parents' house is really secluded and like in the woods. I love that you can just like hang out and there's nobody around. I got a lot of questions about if me and my man are still together, but yes, I just don't really post him a ton on Instagram. He's very antsy today. I think he's not very you know what I'm gonna do? I think he sees these and so he's like irritated because he wants to eat them. Have you ever met someone you would consider a psychopath? I also realized that in a lot of my old Q&As, I will say certain questions like that and then just snicker because that's my way of like a tea sip. Tell us more about your aphantasia. Okay, so this is something so interesting that I just discovered this. And when I first discovered it, like the first 2 days, I was actually really sad. like my kind of life was shattered. I'm just going to explain what it is for those of you who don't know. Aphantasia is basically where your mind's eye can't visualize things. So say you're trying to visualize like a red square. I close my eyes, there's nothing. Can't close my eyes and see my face. I can't close my eyes and see my bird, my parents' faces, my boyfriend, like nothing. And there's different levels of it too. Like if you say, imagine a red square, and some people can imagine a red square, some people can only imagine a square, some people can imagine an outline, and there's others that it's pure black. I just discovered this a few days ago and posted about it on Instagram because I was so shocked. People can actually like see things when they close their eyes? What? I know! All these times that people are like, visualize this. Or when those books say like, visualize yourself here, or doing this or that. And I've taken acting classes and they're like, okay, visualize something and now like pretend that you're in that place. And I always thought it was an expression. Like I thought visualize this didn't actually mean to visualize anything because nobody can visualize anything. And then people started commenting on my Instagram like, oh, what about like books? What do you do when you read? And I was like, oh, I don't see anything, I just feel. And then I was like, maybe this is why I get so into like books and movies and TV. Like I can't watch scary things or sad things or like read a sad book because it will stay with me for like a good week afterwards, and I just feel the physical like pain of the sadness or the fear. Alright, so enough about aphantasia. What would you tell your younger self regarding relationships? Biggest thing that I would say is don't stay with somebody once you realize that they're wrong for you. Because there are so many times where I was dating people, and I'm sorry because I do respect the people that I was dating before, but there's been so many times where like certain amount of time into the relationship I was like, I kind of feel like I should break up with them, and then I stayed with them for a lot longer and I was like, you know, it'll get better, this will get fixed or that will get fixed. But it took me a while to realize that like once you're starting to feel like something's not right, you need to trust your intuition. Why don't you answer DMs? So I actually do answer DMs, but I have to say I'm a little bit more apt to answer DMs from girls because they're not asking me to marry them. So what's it like to have a bird as a pet? Honestly, it's like a toddler. Like he is a toddler and will do these things sometimes where he's acting super antsy or he just wants more of those treats. He knows that I have them. Alright, I put Picasso down. I lost him for a minute again. Who's your first kiss? Okay, I think his name was Gannon, and it was in a movie theater, and my dad watched the movie with us, like 2 rows in front of us, and the first kiss was so gross because it was so slimy and so like sloppy and ugh, so nasty. And I was like, why do people like kissing? This is so gross. I got home and I went on AAM and I broke up with him. I was 13. Oh, there's so many comments about meeting my boyfriend on YouTube. That's really cute. Probably isn't going to come on YouTube, but if it helps, when I first met him, everybody was like, Jess, this is like the guy version of you. You're gonna love Pete. Alright, so I feel like that's probably like a good amount of questions that I got answered. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up for Picasso and subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.